So today we are bringing you our list of the top 20 essential RV items for anybody who is new to RVing and just hitting the road. So stick around.
Oh boy, Corbin.
Hey guys, welcome back to Why Wait. Today's video is the top 20 essential RV items that every newbie needs when they first hit the road and they're getting started. These are some of the basic things that before you pull out of your driveway, you're going to want to make sure you have in the camper. These are things not really wants, but they are needs, things that are going to save the day when there's trouble on the road, when there's leaks, holes in the roofs, things like this, and things that you just have to have when you get started. Basic stuff like sewer hoses and these kind of items. Now honestly, we only came up with 19, but who makes a list of 19 items? So we had to find one more thing to make 20. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video, because while these are in no particular order, we did save the best for last, and it is the #1 item that you do have to have before you hit the road and go camping. And as we go through these items, I'm not going to get too much into depth about each one, because I could really, make a whole video on, say, the air pump and air compressor and stuff like that. So we're going to try to get through these as quick as we can. Just kind of quick touch base on why we have them, what we use them for, and just kind of move on. So before anybody hits the road, you're going to need holding tank treatment, some sort of black tank treatment. This is Happy Camper. We've been using this for 2 years now, and honestly, it's all we've needed. We use 1 scoop every time we clean out the tank. We have had no odor issues whatsoever. Of course, we do full time. I don't know if it may be different for anybody who is only using the campers on the weekend and the tank is sitting for long periods of time without maybe water going into it. But again, we've been full-time RVing for almost 2 years, and this is all we've used since day one, and it's been great. We have no stank in the black tank. I just came up with that. So, another item you guys are going to need. RV power adapters, also referred to sometimes as dog bones. You're going to need a 50 amp to 30 amp and a 30 amp down to 120 volt. These are all the connections. That way some campgrounds you go to, your site may only have 30 amp, and if you have a 50 amp camper and a 50 amp cord, you're going to have to convert down by using these adapters. So, or if you're going to boondock at somebody's house and you want to plug into their house, you're definitely going to want these. So add that to the list. Definitely something that will come in handy. Next up, RV water hoses. Make sure you get an RV water hose that is, obviously you want to make sure it's potable for safe drinking water. We have 2 of them. We use the 0G hose. I love these things. They never kink up on me. These are 50 feet long. I carry 2 of them. I carry one that always stays hooked up to the camper for the drinking water, and then this is my backup, which if you're going to be using another hose to wash the camper, wash the truck, or just anything, you're definitely going to have 2. You're also probably going to want to have 2, because there's going to be some sites where the 1 hose is not going to be long enough and it's not going to reach. So get yourself a good, safe, drinkable water hose. Definitely recommend the 0G hose. We've been using these for a while, and no issues with them. And so when you guys are shopping for hoses, 0G I believe has 2 colors. You're going to want to get the blue one if you're going to be using it for your drinkable water that's hooked up to the camper. It's the one that's considered drinking water, safe or potable. Now, if you're looking at other companies or other brands, I should say, try to stay away from the clear hoses, such as like the white colored ones, because they have been known to have the sun affect them over time. The sun kind of shines through those too much, and it can really build up algae and stuff inside the hose. We actually had a small section of a white water hose for our RV one time, and after I switched it out, I cut it open, and it was kind of green and nasty inside. So I would avoid the lighter colored water drinking hoses.
Okay, next item on the list takes us outside, and that would be the sewer hose or your poop hose. Hey guys, there's not too much to talk about this. You have to have one. I will tell you that we carry 3. I would recommend at least carrying 2, because sometimes it is a little bit far away for your connection. And that's that. Let's move on. Okay, can't stress this next item enough. VALTERRA gate valve. This is extremely important. If you guys go to travel, you close your black tank, let's say it didn't close all the way, well, when you go to hook up your sewer line, you take that cap off, you're going to have a nasty mess. With this, the gate valve closes that up, and you can safely connect your sewer connection without having to worry about any mess dripping out or anything that was in the pipes shaking out. This is a lifesaver. I've actually had somebody who didn't have this, and they had a real mess without it, so good product. Okay, number 6 on the list. Gotta have yourself a good ladder. This is a telescoping ladder. You can see with the press of 2 buttons, she just pops up. This one raises to 12.5 feet. I believe 330 pounds on this. Very durable, and goes back down just as easy. There you go. Press buttons, pops down. Okay, moving on. Next on the list, let's open this up. Bottle jack. This here is a 12-ton hydraulic bottle jack. It's not a question of if you're going to get a flat tire when you're RVing, but usually when. It's going to happen at some point. You don't want to be stranded. Get yourself a heavy-duty jack to solve the problem. Okay, let's go on to the next. If you guys don't have a water pressure gauge, it's one of the first things you should get as new RVers. I recommend as soon as you go to any site, first thing you do, hook up this, turn on the water, and see what kind of water pressure you're getting. And the good thing about this one, it's not just a gauge, but you can also adjust it. All you need is a flathead screwdriver, and you can plus minus to turn the pressure up or down depending on where you want to set it. A lot of people set theirs around 40, 45, kind of safe for the PEX piping inside the RV. I have mine turned up higher because it's going to go through a filter here, and then it's going to go through the water softener, and then another filter. So by the time it does all that, it's already down at a low safe level anyways. And this right here is the first filter. This is just an Amazon Basics water filter. Usually get these in a pack of 3, replace it about every month. Number 10 on the list, tire chocks. You know, you gotta have these. I would opt for the heavy duty rubber ones like these. They have some eye bolts, you could tie them together, make them easier to carry. I wouldn't get the plastic ones like this. They tend to move around in the concrete a little bit too much for me, and I've also run one over and, well, it cracked and broke. So let's keep going. Okay, real quick, you're going to need some sort of leveling blocks. We carry these around. We honestly don't use them too much considering we have a hydraulic self-leveling system, but if one side of the camper is sitting too low and we know that, we can just put these under the tires. You can stack them up like this, and you can drive right up on them and keep the tires from coming up off the ground. And they serve other purposes too. So you're definitely going to want to have some handy. Definitely more of a need when you have maybe a travel trailer that doesn't have the self-auto leveling system. Okay, put this back in here and keep going. Okay, maybe the most important item on the list, a good surge protector. This is the EMS PT50X by Progressive Industries. EMS standing for Electronic Management System. Now the first thing you need to do at a new campsite is plug this in first, and it runs a system check to make sure the power box is good. These surge protectors are essential mainly for protecting your RV from spikes in power, but also check for reverse polarity, high or low voltage, and open grounds, all of which can cause severe and costly damage to the RV's appliances and electronics. So definitely recommend one of these. It'll be a little expensive to buy, but in the long run save you a lot of money if there's an issue. Okay, number 14, get yourself a good RV tire pressure monitor system. We all know RV tire blowouts can be a common thing, and they can cause damage to the RV, but they can also be very dangerous. So having a good TPMS can be key to avoiding this. Now this one right here is the TST507, which might be the best system on the market. Now I could sit here and do a whole video on this thing, but I'm just going to quick touch base on some things I like about it. I love that this color monitor will automatically scroll through each tire, reporting the PSI and temps. And you can also set each axle to have its own custom set low and high alert parameters, meaning your RV axles can be set different from your truck axles, and so you can have all those tires set to different high and low PSIs and temperatures. Now, The kits can come with anywhere from 4 to 12 sensors. We have 10. If you just need 4 for your RV, or maybe just 6 for your RV, you can buy them like that. We have these sensors right here. They're called the flow-through sensors. You don't have to take them off. You can actually air the tires up just right like that. And they also have a little anti-theft, so no one can just kind of come up and steal them. So anyways, guys, maybe I'll do a video down the road on the whole thing, but definitely need to get yourself a good monitor system.
Next up on the list, get yourself a good assortment of fuses. This is a nice little kit right here. It has everything from 2 amp up to 40 amp fuses. These things will come in handy because on your RV you're going to always be blowing fuses on certain things. There's fuses in the microwaves, there's fuses on the hydraulic leveling kits, you know, you have your fuse panel. Not only that, but these are good for your vehicles too. So you don't want to be stuck somewhere out boondocking at night and something as simple as a fuse is keeping you from having a certain light running, or maybe a slide going in and out. So we got this one right here. This is 244 pieces, and I'll put a link down to this one, as well as everything we talk about today. All the links down below for Amazon where you guys can pick up any of these items. So, and we'll follow that up with a good PEX clinch clamp tool. If you guys don't know, all the plumbing in an RV is PEX piping, and this little tool right here is essential for cutting and connecting the little metal clamps to clamp down on the connections for the PEX. So you're going to want to get one of these. Without this tool, you won't be able to fix any water leak that may happen, and it's an RV and water leaks are inevitable. So make sure you already have one of these on hand. That way, and you get you some of the little 3/4 inch metal rings, or 1/2 inch depending on what size pipes you run. And this is the only tool you need to either cut the pipes and cinch down on the clamps. So another must-have item. Water. And what do we have in here? We have these right here. Water sensors. We have 3 of them. These come in a pack of 3. They have little suction cups on them so you can mount them. They just take some basic AA batteries. This goes on the ground. Strategically place it wherever you want. We place one under our water pump. You can see we have one back here by underneath the water heater, and we have another one going here, going down under this mess of, well, water pipes and all that. As you guys may know, campers, RVs, notorious for water leaks when these things move down the road. You know the saying, it's like an earthquake. A lot of these things rattle, they loosen up over time, and well, what these things do, it takes just the smallest little amount of drip of water to get on this sensor, and they go off, and they are extremely loud. We found that out not because of a leak, but when the battery gets completely low, it will sound off. And yeah, you're gonna run down there pretty quick to shut it off because it's screeching loud. I recommend definitely getting these, putting them in your basement. You can put them underneath your bathroom cabinet, kitchen cabinet, other places where you might get a water leak. And they're just a good heads up. You never know when that next water leak is gonna come, and instead of waiting until your basement's flooded, well, this thing will give you a first hand, even if it's just a small drip, so you can fix the problem before it becomes a major problem. Alright, let's head up to the next one. Next item on the list, a good torque wrench and a set of sockets. These will come in handy for your RV tires, truck tires, and anything else that, well, for instance, our Anderson hitch has to be torqued down. So this is just a Cobalt torque wrench. And it's pretty heavy duty. This will go up to 250 pounds per foot. Nice. Definitely recommend that. And with that, this is a handy little set of sockets here, as you can see. So again, torque wrench, variety of different sockets. Make sure you get a big enough size so that you can check the torque on your tires every time before you leave. There should be a spec of what they need to be torqued down to. Any kind of tool, a good set of tools, you're going to need all that stuff, but this is something that's definitely going to come in handy, especially possibly in an emergency with a flat tire. If you're going to change your own tire, you're going to want a torque wrench to get it torqued down. Okay, moving on. This little white stuff right, a must have. This will save the day for any kind of emergency you have with the roof. We had a little small puncture. We don't even know how it happened. I think we were going down a country road and a tree branch must have just poked it. All you have to do is cut a small little section of this off, and it is super sticky. It'll basically seem to last forever. This stuff is good for any kind of leak you have anywhere. They have a, I believe this is a 4-inch size. They also comes in a skinnier roll, which we have as well. But definitely a Eternabond tape. It's going to save the day at some point. Now you may have seen me go into more detail about this on one of our other videos, gift ideas for full-time RVers. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and check it out. I'll put a little thing up to that right here so you can go check out some good gifts to get anybody you know who may be full-times in RVs.
Okay, let's open it up here and check it out. This bag is nice and convenient, amazing. Okay, you have your standard gauge, the trigger. It does go up to 150 psi max, which is nice. And as you can see, it just it monitors as it fills it up, so you don't have to constantly stop, switch it out. And it only pumps when you pull the trigger. So when you pull on the trigger, it gets air. When you stop, it stops pumping air, which is really nice. Comes with the screw-on attachment. It has the 45-degree angle chuck for getting on the dually tires. Here's the pump itself. Heavy duty. It has the alligator clips right to your truck's battery, or you can do it to your camper battery. Depends on what I'm doing. I use both, so it's just 12 volt hookup with that. It has 2 cords in here. It has 60 foot total. It has 2 of these with the quick connects, and you can connect 2 of these. There's one here, and then there's one on the back side of the bag. You hook those 2 up, and that'll get you 60 feet of hose to reach any size RV or fifth wheel. Now with this one, you can continuously run it at 100 psi for about 20 minutes, so it needs to cool down. They do have the VIAIR 450p, which is a little more expensive. It'll fill up your tires slower. It's not as fast, but it can actually run for a straight hour. I went with this one because I don't think I'll ever have to pump for a straight hour filling up my tires, and I've never had any problems using this one. And another reason I got this pump, not just for the camper, but anybody who has maybe a 1.5 ton truck, an F450 like I do, you got, you have the commercial grade tires on those. And with those tires, those are just like your RV tires, and these bad boys also run at 110. So this pump was necessary not only for my camper, but for my truck as well. Number 1 item, the most essential RV item for anybody who's starting out camping, full-time RVing. Do not leave the house without this. The coffee maker. You cannot camp without a good cup of coffee. Hey, we use a Keurig, but whatever you guys use, a French press, coffee pot, no matter what it is, make sure you have your coffee when you go camping. So that's it. That is the top 20 essential items for any RVer hitting the road. Do not hit the road without them. And remember, get out there, start camping, bring your coffee, start full-timing, because, well, why wait? We'll see you guys next week. Day. And then I just looked down at me like I'm not even filming. Was that even right? I feel like it was too short. Let's try it again. Okay. Boom! Today we are bringing you... Hey! No grumbling in the video. Just grumbling in my video? Filming? Okay, you can talk. You can tell me yes. It's gonna get cut out. To have coffee when you're camping. This one's dirty. Alright, do you want me to clean? Without this, I don't know. We need this. I don't really know what to say about these. You just fucking need them.